Midnight Madness, the threat comes from an inanimate object, a mirror. I think the last film which the mirror was a supernatural threat was Boogeyman.
Mirrors.
Mirrors. Broken.
There was the Kevin Bacon movie.
There was the Kevin Bacon movie. Forget all of that. Anyways, I'm really pleased to bring the director onto the stage for this because he is a previous film, very understated but very effective horror film, Absentia. Put your hands together. For Mike Flanagan, the director. This is crazy.
And yes, it is. Thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are the first audience to see Oculus. And I really, really want to thank Colin for having us here as part of this amazing program and letting us put this movie in front of the greatest genre audience in the world. We have a bunch of our cast here tonight. We have Rory Cochran, Katie Sackhoff, Brendan Thwaites, and James Lafferty. Katie Sackhoff. Rory Cochran. James Lafferty. And Brendan Thwaites is here somewhere. He went to the bathroom. So they're going to be up here afterward for the Q&A. I hope you guys stick around. I do really want to thank Trevor Macy, my producer, who's here from Trevor Pictures. Alison Thompson and her amazing crew at Focus Features International for selling the film here, which is just fantastic. And Paradigm is selling. It's really awesome for us to be able to put this movie in front of you guys. And I don't know what else to say other than to get the hell off the stage and let the movie start. So thank you guys so much. I do. I'd love to invite up on stage right now our producer Trevor Macy, our cast Katie Sackhoff, Rory Cochran, Brendan Thwaites, James Lafferty.
I think they're all in the bathroom.
So let me start off. Okay. This is kind of an adaptation of a short film that you did. Did you always envision that maybe this you'd be able to expand on this as a feature?
We always had actually hoped that we could do it as an anthology. We had written 9 half-hour short scripts about the mirror. The one that we shot the first was actually the third one that we had. Which is why the short, unfortunately, was titled Oculus Chapter 3, which confused everybody. But kind of immediately as the film got out there in the festival circuit, there was some interest in expanding it into a feature. We just didn't know how to do that for a very long time. The short was just one guy alone in the room with the mirror and the cameras for 25 minutes. So expanding that universe was the first challenge. And that took a while.
So how long did it take you to do that? I mean, it's so late.
Well, we decided that we wanted to expand it back in 2007, and
let's hear it for the actress here.
Took a while in the bathroom there, remember? I just had to pee, so it's a long movie. You should have held it like I did.
And I'm just going to point out, this is Rory's 25 years of Midnight Madness. This is Rory's third film in Midnight Madness. If you're confused, welcome to 45. And, so you told me the process of how long it took to...
Well, we started looking into feature versions of it and trying to flesh it out back in 2007, and it wasn't until my writing partner Jeff Howard, who's also here actually in the audience. Jeff, can you say that? Jeff and I have been writing together for 10 years now, and we started kicking it around back in 2007. We met with Intrepid Pictures in 2011, late 2011, and they were the first company that we had come across who kind of agreed with the way we wanted to expand it, which was to try to maintain the spirit of the short, kind of expand the universe around it, but not go the found footage route, which was a real temptation for a lot of people because there were cameras in the room, and to try to do something a little different. So once we brought it to Intrepid, we developed the script together, and we were shooting, God, a year later. So, yeah.
Thank you for not falling into the pitfall of the found footage, because when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, they've got cameras in the room, there's going to flip into, but it never does. So thank you. So I want to know what attracted the actors to the project. I mean, hey, you're going to be in a film where your teeth are going to be knocked out, you're going to be chewing glass. It's going to be beautiful. What do you think? What brought you to the project?
First of all, I read the script and absolutely fell in love with it and thought that it was something that I really hadn't seen before. And then I was a little worried about trying to kill my children the whole time. So I called Mike and I had a conversation, and I was like, because I think in the script they might have been a little bit younger. They were like 8 and 9, I think. And I was like, I don't know if I want to be beating the shit out of 8-year-olds. I mean, that's really hard. And then he told me to cast some older kids and that we could have safe words and stuff, and I was like, okay. But I kind of thought that it would just be a really different twist on something that I really love but haven't done before, and the kids were amazing, and Garrett and Annalise were brilliant, and we really did have safe words. They were like banana and stuff, and they never used them. They were good kids. They were like harder. She did. That was her. She made that line up about I wish I was a pineapple. She was a good little kid.
And what attracted you to the project? Yeah.
It was one of those circumstances where you had a quick decision to make, and I happened to be very sick at the time. I got a script, and I wasn't of my right mind. I was reading it and I was like, I know I'm really sick, but I think it's pretty good, And so then I was like, maybe I should have a conversation with Mike. And so I talked to Mike. I said, Mike, I like this script. It's kind of like The Shining or something like that. And he's like, I don't really like The Shining. And I was like, what?
I can't believe you just did that to me.
I was like, this guy's got balls. I like it. Let's do this.
I think what I said is I like the book better.
No, and many people have said that it's more true to the actual book, the miniseries part.
I'm gonna still get kicked out of the Stephen King fan club now.
I'm not trying to disrespect it. This is a compliment. I think the guy has balls, and that's why I was like, I'm in. I'll get a little plane tomorrow.
Oh, I guess I was attracted to the idea of doing the found footage thing in a different way. You said, thank you for not falling in the pitfalls of found footage. You read so many scripts, and that's kind of taken hold these days, that found footage idea as a safety net. And I liked that, there was a 15-page scene with found footage. It was a challenge, and it was gnarly, And I'd never done a horror film before, and I like the idea of going really fucking big at times, and trying to contain certain ideas and thoughts. And, yeah. What I have to say. That makes sense.
I had actually known Trevor Mason, the producer, for a few years and been a fan of his work. And so when I got this script, it was just brilliant and every bit as affecting as the film itself. And so I just was like, I gotta please meet this guy. Try to be a part of this project in any capacity that I could. And plus I have to get, stabbed in the neck, so you can't really pass that up. It was easy.
And Trevor produced The Strangers. Sean, yes, over on the side.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the cinematography of the difficulties of working the camera and mirror so that you don't have mirrors in the shot?
That's a better question for Michael Fimignari, or DP, who's in the audience somewhere. Michael, where are you?
Get up here, bro. Come on up.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can speak to what was tough for me about that. Michael can speak more intelligently about it than I can. But, you know, when we were shooting everything in the office and we had the mirror on one wall and cameras and monitors on the others, there weren't many places we could put the camera or the crew where we wouldn't be seen. And we really didn't want to replace what was in the monitors. We wanted that to be really live. So we built that set. We shot in a real house in Mobile, Alabama, but that room was actually a build so that we could move walls and get our cameras in there. Michael Fimignari.
We had some fun with the mirror. So the mirror was gimbaled in all directions. So depending on what the scene was, we would just slide that reflection off of us, off of our cameras. But there were some great moments with Katie, especially, where she'd be looking directly at her own reflection, and so we'd have walls with the mirror frame, but without the glass, and we would flip it onto the other part of the set, so we'd be outside of our room, and we'd put Katie on a dolly, and we would push into that reflection right into the eye line. So, and then great visual effects would add the texture of the mirror, but there was nothing there when we shot it. So we had some fun playing with the space.
Yeah. Who else do we have here?
Yes, inside.
Yeah, I really liked when the older kids and the younger kids were inhabiting the house at the same time. But was that, I guess it would be like within storyboarding and editing, because it was really, it was seamless, the continuity of the two storylines.
I'm very glad you feel that way. It didn't feel that way at the time. And our AD and script supervisor were, you know, really put through a lot on this project. Continuity was really brutal on us. The idea to actually, the original script had everything happening in the present in the basement of the auction house and everything in the past happening in the family home. It was actually Mark Evans at Intrepid, one of our producers, who had suggested early in the development process of the script to just set them both in the house, which made it for, you know, a whole other, way more dynamic film. We had kind of exhaustively shot listed those sequences together in the weeks that we had of prep, so we knew when the camera would have to hand off from one actor to the next. It was much more difficult to keep track in our own heads when we would have to have certain rooms that were completely empty and furnished. And a lot of times we would have to have our art department fly in, completely strip a room out, pull all the furniture, and then put it back in when we were going to be doing another scene. So it was actually incredibly confusing. But yeah, I think I'm really glad to hear that it comes off, so thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so I thought this was a very effective film, and the single setting and the mind tricks kind of reminded me of the film 1408 from here. So I was wondering, what were your influences in making this film?
1408 is one of my favorite short stories of all time. I adore that story. Other influences for this one were Brad Anderson's Session 9, which I think is an incredible exercise in minimalist horror. The Shining, and Haunting of Hell House, and yeah, I mean those are kind of the big ones that were playing through our minds for this. Yeah. Yes.
How elaborate did you write the history of the mirror, and how did you envision it actually coming into being?
Oh wow. Well, we wrote a little more about the history of the mirror than made the film. That sequence, which runs about 13 minutes, is lifted almost verbatim from the short. And that was kind of something going into the project we were really nervous about. How could we carry, you know, people's attention for that long when it's really just a character talking? So Karen Gillan actually spent most of her time in prep working on that scene, and I think absolutely just devastated it. I mean, she did a great job. And are you asking what I think about where the mirror originated from, like way back?
Yeah, did you write an origin story that didn't make the cut?
We did not write an origin story, and the reason why is for us, we always think evil is scarier the less you know about it. Kind of we all, we feel that evil is in the world, and we try very hard to understand it. We're never able to, it just kind of operates by its own rules. And so it was really fun to come up with a mythology so that we could learn the pattern of it and really kind of spell out that it was a really frightening and evil object. But we didn't want to reveal too much about its origin because we thought it would be way scarier to just leave that unanswered.
We've got time for one more question, so in the middle of the way there.
Once the construction of the film itself is mirrored with the multiple timelines, how close during shooting, editing, and even back to the writing stage did you conform the structure? How much did it change in post? And where's the mirror now?
The back and forth between the past and present are actually scripted that way. We had to, in order to make the script able to be read easily, we had to take all the past stuff and put it in italics, and take all the present stuff and leave it normal. But all the cuts that are in there that you see between them are on the page. So it didn't really change at all, I don't think, between the script, production, and editing. That stuff was so dialed in that we had to make sure we protected it throughout. That was our priority. The mirror now is...
It's in a warehouse that I imagine to be like Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm not saying.
And actually, I'm going to grab one more question, because you were the young lady who walked out in the middle of, at the end of the film going, "It's too scary, it's too scary." What is your question?
Question for the actors, actually. I know watching the film with the music and editing, it gets really creepy. I'm just curious, when you're on set, do you ever actually get scared? Like with the whole creepy storyline and everything.
I don't, personally scary movies really scare me. I'm like you, like I usually walk out or have to watch like South Park right after or something, make sure my fiance is like in town because, or in a hotel room is a great place because you're safe because people can hear you scream. So I'm not good with horror movies. So I usually try to just like, make fun of the whole process. And we actually, in my entire getup, Marie made a dating video for Match.com. And I still have it, and I showed my parents the other day, and they were like, "That is so wrong on so many levels." So I think I try and make light of everything, because I think if you actually, in the moment where like I'm actually strangling children, it would be a little too intense for me, and I'd probably go home and have nightmares and go to church or something.
I would say if there was a movie beyond the cut, if they filmed after the cut of each take, it would be a comedy. Because we laughed so much in this film, because everything was so incredulous and funny, and working with these guys was funny after every take. So I didn't think it was that scary. I mean, at the time, there's no music, there's a bunch of crew, kind of, you're looking like an idiot with blood in your mouth, or on the floor, kind of trying to work for this thing. And I don't know, like the sound of this movie, kind of, the score was amazing. Whoever did that, thank you. I put some cameras in the audience. Realize that it all comes together.
I just want to say that I think these guys did a wonderful job. I mean, Katie's amazing. You can't have an actress eat plates and do all this kind of shit that she does. Mike Flanagan, I wasn't trying to throw you under the bus with the Shining thing. I think it's ballsy that you speak your mind and people have opinions. And you know, I wasn't trying to give us disrespect here. I will say it was his first feature, and he was a collaborator, and he has a bright future, as you can see by the evidence on the screen. And it was just a pleasure to work with all these people. And thank you all for showing up and staying.
Pretty much everything Dave just said, to answer your question, it is an oddly festive atmosphere, which I wasn't expecting, and was pleasantly surprised about. So, yeah.
Well, James shows up on day one, and I'm like, you know, thinking like one tree he's gonna show up and be like all cute and everything, and he's like completely pale with like blood in his neck.
A pump just squirting.
Not the moment to be like, can I have a picture? I'm